Hello， 大家好，欢迎大家来到读书时间。我们今天继续读《Soft Hearts: A Rett Swinson Mystery》这本书。好，我们现在开始。Where did you put my love? I have looked everywhere. I could relate to the narrator's confusion, for I wondered when Alan decided he no longer loved me and what he did with the love I thought I'd shown him. Maybe in his poem about a lonely woman where the seeds of white wonder eventually became a shutting. The second poem, published just a few years after the first, made me think about Wanda's wild yard, especially its ivy-covered porch. Webs. When I go out, delicate webs are strung across the path at face height. It's a season of spiders. What a lovely way to start the day. A brush with endeavor. The poem expressed a love of nature, getting caught in its webs and appreciation, like Coleridge's mariner of ugly life. Endeavor. Try hard to do or achieve something. Try. The third and final poem, titled "Enough," was the longest of the three. It was the longest of the three. It was published just 3 years earlier. Its opening stanza, a group of lines forming the basic recurring material unit in the poem, a verse. Stanza. Its opening stanza striking me hard in the heart. I'm old enough to cry when death snatches away someone I love. Quickly seized something in a rude or eager way. With someone I love. Then, in the middle of the poem, the narrator, who I assumed to be Wanda, admits to feeling ashamed to cry in public and worries that if she begins to grieve, it might become impossible for her to stop. I couldn't tell you why, this urge to hide, why grief must stay inside. The poem ended with her admitting she is The poem ended with her admitting she is old enough to know that old is never long enough, that tears will stream to sculpt a landscape not in view. Grief carries underground an echo not enough of you. Wanda had lost both of her parents and felt estranged from estranged of a person no longer close or affectionate to someone, alienated. Estranged from her children to some degree. Lost both of parents. It would not be outlandish to imagine she had finally had enough and decided to shut the world out. That loss could echo through her life. Could these three sensitive poems be penned by the same woman who told Skip Green to watch his back? It didn't seem possible. What happened, Wanda? What happened to you? I tried to read more, but I must have dozed off. Sleep lightly, dozed off. The next thing I knew, my phone was vibrating. A text from Daryl. On my way home with Mom. My text back. I'll meet you there. I picked up the book, which had fallen to the floor beside me. Its pages opened randomly to a poem called Love's Philosophy by Percy Shelley, the husband of Mary Shelley, writer of the famous Frankenstein. I quickly read the short poem. Two of its verses made me think of Daryl more than I cared to admit. Nothing in the world is single, all things by a law divine. Of or like God divine. Of or like God or a God, very pleasing, delightful, glory, godly, heavenly, holy, providence or God, holy, all things by a law divine, in one spirit meet and mingle. Why not I with them? Sign of yours since belonging to associates. Sign. And the sunlight grasp tied with one's hand. And the sunlight clasps the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. What is all this sweet work with worth? If thou kiss not me, you thou kiss not me. You are crushing on him. My mirror explained as I quickly drew a wet brush through my hair. But what would he ever see in you? I kept an eye on Lydia's home, and when 2 cars rolled up, I dashed across the street. As Daryl carefully helped his mom out of the charger, I walked over to the super long vehicle parked just behind it, a silver Chrysler New Yorker. A woman stepped out, unsmiling, grim. She wore her long gray hair in an intricate bun, almost like a beehive. It's like a beehive. It's like a beehive too. I introduced myself and you must be Doris, Lydia's cousin. No blood relation, but family is family, I suppose. Trying to maintain my smile and sound nice like my mom would do, I said. Thank you for helping her in a pinch. Take, squeeze, compress. Pinch. Glad to help, but she didn't sound all that glad. I turned my attention to Lydia. Though we can't buy her hospital stay, she was able to stand and walk with her son's help. Daryl saw us waiting for them and held out Lydia's house key for me. Inside the house, Doris wasted no time snatching from the side table the ashtray and a pack of Virginia Slims. She took them into the kitchen where she plopped them both into the trash. For cause to fall with plop. A short sound of a small solid object dropping into water without a splash. Plop. For cause to fall in with a plop. Plop doesn't mean to the trash. Daryl led Lydia into the house and set her in her favorite living room chair. It's so good to see you, friend, I said with some nervousness. I was worried about you. Lydia made movements with her mouth as if to respond, then shook her head in defeat. I traded with a knowing look with Daryl. Will you come outside with me and help me get the rest of Mom's things? He asked. Sure. When we were outside, Daryl frowned. She is so frustrated that she can't communicate. It must be awful, especially for someone as expressive as your mother. Expressive is a nice way to put it. Crabby is a word I'd use. I'm not trying to poke fun, but she's got a long road ahead. I still think that I ought to move in with her. But Charlie has such a good routine where you are living now. You don't want to shake that up, do you? You live so close to his school and his mom. You can see her most every day. She wasn't a great wife, but she's a good mother. You don't have to worry. I will be here to back up Doris. You mean boring Doris? Well, the nickname does seem to suit her, I said, along with bitter cold, wretched of a person in an unhappy or unfortunate state. Miserable. I can't thank the two of you enough. Lydia is good company for me. She will have she'll have rehab most days. A course of treatment for drug or alcohol dependence is typically at a residential facility. She'll have rehab most days. Maybe you can get her out occasionally, give her a break from Doris. I'll be glad to if she feels up to it. I'll even take her to needless necessities. Trust me, if anyone is going to get your mother talking again, it's those crazy quilters. 好，谢谢大家，我们今天先读到这里吧，那我们下次再见了，拜拜。